Okay. So ever since I was a little kid, I believed that stories could change the world. And I think in a lot of ways, my adult life has been a hunt to find out how that's so. And so I've got to work with some amazing organizations across the country and all over South America, working with some amazing young leaders, participated in lots of amazing impact projects, but I've never encountered as challenging a context as Skid Row here in Los Angeles. It is like the beast of beasts, the seven-headed hydra of seven-headed hydras. And thankfully, I found this lovely organization called the Skid Row Community Improvement Coalition. I think there's a slide. It's just on the timer. I just go, okay, here we go. It's a grassroots organization of activists, organizers, some residents, stakeholders that all are advocating for change in the community and who all deeply believe that if you aim to impact a community, you need to fold in community voice in the planning, development, and implementation of the work. And if you don't do that, the work is not sustainable. Something that we spent a lot of time doing in 2017 is working with the mayor's office and with architects in Office 42 in the construction of the Skid Row Refresh Spot, which is it's a 24-hour hygiene center in Skid Row. It's the first public toilets that have come to the community in over 10 years. And it really illustrates that idea, like what it means to really fold community-based leadership into impact work and the service efforts that you're aiming at. And it's a beautiful and undertold story. And so one thing that I'm really interested in doing right now is collecting impact stories in this context that's like notoriously difficult to impact. So I'm right now working on a podcast that's collecting these impact stories of Skid Row because a lot of them live in conflict and tension with popular narratives around homelessness and poverty in the city. And one of the things I'm really focused on right now, which I think for me really illustrates this, is how it is that folks get out of homelessness. There is a dearth of statistics and research about this, but there are individuals out there that were able to navigate the system and do this, and they're just waiting and wanting to be talked to and studied and spoken to about this. Like my friend John here, John Chavez, aka Poet, called Poet. He's been selling poets on the streets of LA for a lot of the 17 years that he was homeless. I was, a part of his journey to get off of the streets and saw firsthand the challenges that come with doing that. Like the overworked social workers, the CES forms that you have to learn how to game just the right way that place you in competition with other homeless folks on the street, and you're all deserving, right? And so his story now, just a few months ago, he was able to finally get placed in a house in Southgate. This is from the barbecue, celebratory barbecue that we participated in. And so I'm just right now really interested in collecting these stories. So if any of this rings bells with you and there are stories that you feel are undertold and want to be told, and particularly about difficult impact contexts, please share them with me. But more and more I see that central principle illustrated in these stories. This idea that if you aim to serve a community, you need to find a way to cast voices from that community in central roles in the planning and the development and the implementation of that work. Because if you don't, you risk that work being unsustainable, and you risk sometimes doing harm while you're aiming at good. So thank you.